You are looking live inside the Delta Dome in beautiful Vancouver as tonight a perfect 6-0 Storm descends upon the Legion faithful in a new chapter in a storied SFL rivalry. It's the Florida Storm versus the Vancouver Legion. It's the SFL on YouTube. Good evening, I'm Cameron Duty with my partner Wade Phillips. And Wade, it's always good to be with you. We've got ourselves a good matchup tonight. Vancouver looking to get above 500, while Florida looks to keep their perfect record intact. If matchups of the past are an indicator, this could be a very competitive game.
Yes, sir. Glad to be back with you. And yeah, like you mentioned, could be a very close game and interesting. And Vancouver lost their matchup last week. They were trailing throughout the day, but couldn't finish it off in the end. But Florida was trailing in the first half, but then had a magnificent second half to finish it off strong and get the victory last week. And this game, it's going to be shootout. Both these teams like to stay balanced and really score a lot of points.
A lot of history between these two teams, Wade, as you mentioned. 13 meetings between the two. Florida has the upper hand, only by one win, though. Florida has 7 to Vancouver 6. It's the SFL. It's Saturday night. Where else would you want to be? Get ready, get relaxed. You're not going anywhere for the next hour and a half or so. Kickoff is on the way. And this one goes into the end zone for a touchback, and that'll bring out the Florida Storm offense, led by quarterback Ron Cochran, who, if today gets for 247 yards, he will climb to second in all-time passing yards, surpassing the great Matt Wilson. 1st and 10, Cochran now under center. We'll get to the starting lineup in just a moment. Vancouver shows pressure to begin. The pass is complete. And that's going to be a fresh set of downs right off the bat. Let's take a look at our starting lineup tonight. Quarterback Ron Cochran, halfback Charlie Bullet Boletsky, the fullback Chris Komisak, wide receiver Stephen Bush, Caleb Giffus, Art Vandelay, Bobby Tarantino, the tight ends Varadin Zarkov, Ron Haynes, Nate LeMay, William Davidson, Joseph Wade, and Greg McDonaldson round out the rest of the starting lineup, your guards and tackles there. The throw again just off the mark. Second down coming up, Wade.
Yeah, and that time they went with the little short pass, but unfortunately, Vancouver was right in the passing lane and took it down, and now Florida looks to try to get a first down on second down.
We'll look at the Vancouver defense in just a moment. Cochran to throw, rolls out, and he's got a man, and it's deflected. Nice job of coverage that time by Vancouver. So let's take a look at that Vancouver defense while we are at it. The defensive ends, Lindsey Timpson, Bobo Caudill, leader in sacks in the league with 7. Achilles Papatonis, Gerald Giudicesi, Michael Rury at defensive tackle. The linebackers, Josh Farnsey, DJ Woods, Marquise Reed. The cornerbacks, Emmanuel Blackman, Michael Lister, Zach Lay, Will Storm. The free safeties, Mark Lopez, Drew Hamilton, and J.J. Winfield, rounding out the defense for Vancouver. An important 3rd and 10 coming up. Cochran again, rolling out. This one is complete and on target. First down and a new set of downs. Once again, a fantastic reception by the Florida Storm.
And it was an across-field throw by Cochran, completing it to Art Vandelay. That's the second completion to Vandelay this drive, and it's another first down by him.
And Vandelay coming up very important in this game already. 1st and 10 now as they pass midfield. Sharp uniforms, might I add, for both of these teams tonight. Dressed to the nines, if you will. Cochran again to the air, and that one is complete. Ron Haynes. First down, the drive continues for the Storm.
On that play, Cochran had multiple options to choose from, and he picked the tight end, Ron Haynes, to catch that, but it looked like Caleb Giffus was also wide open to the right of Haynes, but just targeted Haynes, picked up the first down, so they keep continuing to sustain this drive, and they are really cooking right now.
Yeah, this is a deadly offense too, Wade. We mentioned very explosive, first in the league in first downs with 20 per game on average, third in passing yards, fourth in rushing yards, and fourth in red zone scoring, which is what they're approaching very quickly. A handoff, and a spin move, stays on his feet. A nice carry by the halfback. That is number 33, Bullet Beletsky.
And on that play, Vancouver had multiple defenders over there trying to slow down the running back, and eventually Farnsey, the tackle vacuum, basically got over there and brought him down.
They keep it on the ground. Chris Comasack, the big fullback, still on his feet. He's got open lanes. Touchdown, Florida. The Storm strike first.
And there's another touchdown for Comasack right there. Great blocking up front, and Comasack just was using all of his agility to tiptoe around the defenders, broke this initial tackle right here by the safety, and then continues around, tight ropes the sideline, and then hits Pater. Touchdown. So great drive by Florida to just drive all the way down the field and get a touchdown early.
Absolutely impressive. And as you mentioned, Comasack had 6 rushing touchdowns coming into today's game. Add another one to that list. Now, for the kick, Ethan Sneed. The extra point is good. So, 7-play, 79-yard drive, which lasted a little over 2 minutes, and Florida jumps out to the early lead.
Yes, and that's something Florida does excellently, is those sustained drives, and it's going to be a real matchup nightmare for Vancouver today, just to try to slow them down. But, hey, they are up to the task tonight.
Vancouver certainly has some weapons on that team as well, and we will introduce them in just a moment. That's Zorro Lunar on the return. A nice one across the 25-yard line where they'll set up shop, and let's meet the offensive lineup after this for just a moment. Looks like we have an injury. We have a player down, and you always hate to see that. That's Donald Strickland down on that return. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Starting lineup for Vancouver, the quarterback Christian Brown, the halfbacks and fullbacks Robert Redford, Pseudo Nakai, Sawyer Stern, Mateo Pravado, the wide receivers Nick Lockett, Chris Sanseri, Brett Killian, Kendra Wells, and Zorro Lunars we just mentioned. The tight ends Cables McGill, Stephen McMichaels, the tackles Mike Coverson, Rylan Caudill, and the guard and center Greggy Wannell and Brunter Graham. And just off the bat, Brett Killian getting involved in the action. First down of the game for Vancouver, so they're striking early.
Yes, and last game for Vancouver, they had more of a balanced attack, and it kind of shot themselves in the foot late on when they kept running. So we'll see if they continue to pass the rock, and right now it's looking like it early on.
An interesting note about Brett Killian, he had 345 reception yards coming into today's game. Him as well as Kendra Wells and Nick Lockett. They've done a really good job through the air thus far for Vancouver. They'll be needed today. The pitch, right side. And that will be a gain of 3 for the Hall of Famer Robert Redford. Let's take a look at the Florida defense. Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tamaello, Alex Dominguez, Pete Mitchell. The linebackers Ryan Tobin, Jesus Smith, Juan Mississippi. The cornerbacks Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, Adam Jones. The safeties Big O Renfro, Daniel Wright, Andrew Francis, and J.J. Bailey. And again, take a look at McMichaels. He's an important target for them too. 10 receptions, 129 yards coming into this game. Add an 11th to the total for him.
That's right. Used to be a teammate of mine in Tulsa, and right there got the pass reception, but it looked like Florida was back in the box looking for the run.
Third and 5 now. Going aggressive through the air here early in this game, and they find their man wide open. That's Brett Killian again, his second reception of the day already.
Yes, second reception of the day, and that time they did not stack the box and not bring much pressure, and it allowed the quarterback Brown to find the wide open receiver Killian for the first down, and that time just had all time to throw it and was able to complete the pass.
A really good job of responding to that touchdown drive by Vancouver here. And one thing to talk about, and we'll get to it, is just how dangerous this Florida defense is as well. We always hear a lot about the offense. The defense is stout too. Now, the handoff, it goes for very little, as a matter of fact, and that's going to bring up a quick second down. Take a look at this stat, Wade. Florida has 2 players with 4 interceptions on the season. That's Evan Carroll and Daniel Wright, tied for 3rd in the league, and Ryan Davidson right behind them with 3. 16 interceptions this season by this Florida defense.
Yes, some ball hawks in that secondary.
We'll see if they get their chance. Christian Brown has struggled a little bit with interceptions this season. We'll see how he fares in today's game. 2nd and 10 coming up. The throw, and it is complete. Nick Lockett, touchdown, Vancouver. They respond in a very impressive fashion.
Yes, they do. The response, Nick Lockett catches that pass and then shakes the tackle attempt, and then it's daylight, and he just uses that speed right there, the press, and then catches it, shakes his tackle right here, and then is off to the races. Ryan Davidson could not bring him down, and then Lockett takes it into the end zone. So here we see Vancouver respond in kind with a long play of their own through the air.
We had just mentioned Davidson and how he had 3 interceptions on the season. He was trying for a 4th right there and was bit on that play. The extra point is up, and it is good. It is marked through by chance to win. So a 6-play, 73-yard drive goes for 2 minutes and 37 seconds, and we have a tie ball game, Wade.
Yes, we do. So it's living up to the billing of some fireworks that we were expecting going into the ball game. So we are getting to see a nice little game that's tied up again at 7 apiece.
We'll see now how Florida can respond. Going to be interesting and very important for Vancouver here to show that they can stop this explosive offense. On the return, it is brought out to about the 28-yard line. Folks, if you're new to the Simulation Football League, we just want to welcome you. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. 1st and 10 now for the Storm on the 28-yard line. They send a man in motion. That is Stephen Bush coming to the bottom of your screen. 3 wide receivers at the bottom. And Cochran to throw. Into the defense. Intercepted. Lopez with a big-time play, swinging the pendulum, if you will, back in favor of Vancouver for the moment.
Yes, indeed. Right to Mark Lopez. Looked like he had time to throw, but just an errant throw that kind of sailed the wide receiver, and it goes right to Mark Lopez. So Vancouver gets some life in a tie ball game and gets to the ball on Florida's 36-yard line.
1st and 10 now, and all of a sudden, Vancouver in the driver's seat into Florida territory. Man in motion, that's McMichaels. They keep it on the ground, and that's going to be a loss of a yard back to the drawing board for 2nd down.
And that was a great play by Ryan Tobin. Just read that run play, shot the gap, and brought down the running back for a loss of 1. Excellent play by the defense to try to slow this momentum that Vancouver has on their side.
Man in motion once again, that is Lockett. We already know what type of day he has had. The throw, and there's an interception right back into the arms of Florida. And just like that, we talked about the interceptions that Christian Brown sometimes struggles with. Ryan Tobin getting the INT that time.
And that drive was all Ryan Tobin. He got the tackle for a loss on the play before and then stays right where he is and gets just right in the path of the ball, intercepts it, and now we have Florida with the ball on their own 33. So, hey, that momentum's right back in Florida's pocket, and they're going to try to ride it as far as they can.
Championship teams do a really good job of coming up with a big play to stop the momentum of their opponent. Take that as a good example by Florida there. 1st and 10, as you mentioned, on the 33. Cochran back to throw. He looks, he fires, it's complete. That's a very impressive one-handed grab by Stephen Bush.
Yes, it was, especially when the defense only rushes 4 people, and that allows the Vancouver defense to sit back there. But Florida's offense, the wide receiver, got behind the defense, catches it one-handed, and now they've got a 1st down and are getting closer to being inside opponent's territory.
Close to midfield. And Cochran to throw. The pass is complete to Ron Haynes, the big man, getting another reception on the day.
And Ron Cochran had all day to throw. It looked like Ron Haynes just broke past the defender in that zone. It was a zone defense by Vancouver. Ron Haynes catches it and is brought down immediately, but hey, the damage was already done, picked up a 1st down.
For many, many years now, Ron Haynes has been a reliable target for this Florida Storm, his 4th season in the league. And a handoff to the Bullet, Boletsky. Gain of 4, 2nd down coming up. We mentioned Bullet Boletsky and the season that he has had thus far, putting up some good stats, 339 yards coming into today's game. Now, when they get down to the red zone, they like to feed it to Comisac, but make no mistake, Boletsky can still get it into the end zone. Cochran to throw. Haynes again, and boy, that was a very impressive snag over top the head of the defender for the 1st down.
It was a fantastic catch just to maintain the catch in traffic, because it looked like DJ Woods was right there in his face, but went up, caught it, and DJ Woods brought him down immediately. Ron Haynes has shown up very big in this game so far, and he's just been automatic when he catches it, and another 1st down for him.
And Haynes putting his height to use there, 6'5" and 255 pounds as well. So a tough guy to cover. Cochran to throw again, rolling out. Pressure was coming, but he delivers one, and a nice shot that time to Stephen Bush inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for Florida. Excuse me.
Yeah, Stephen Bush is the leading receiver for the wide receivers and has 5 touchdowns on the season, but got almost right there to get his 6th of the season, but got in some open territory, caught that ball and got a few more yards after the catch. And now look at that, Ron Cochran, 7 of 10, 115 yards, and that 1 interception to Mark Lopez.
Cochran really starting to heat up in this game. We still have 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in the 1st. Show in motion. That's Tarantino. They throw to the end zone, almost intercepted. That was scary for just a moment for all you Florida fans, with Emmanuel Blackman on the coverage.
Yes, indeed. Tried to just eyeball the receiver way too long, stare him down, and Emmanuel Blackman was right there. Couldn't complete the interception, but he'll take that pass deflection and live to fight another day on 2nd and goal.
They line up showing run. We'll see if they actually keep it on the ground. They are known to give it to Comisac here, and they do. And they're going to say he's just a little bit short, I believe. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, just short, but that was a great play by the defense to swarm the ball carrier and bring him down. And now 3rd and goal. I mean, you've got the back of the end zone is just an extra defender, so we're thinking maybe run territory right here if my idea is correct.
Certainly looks that way as they are lined up here. Vancouver crowding the line as well, and it is a rush, and they stop them. A great defensive play that time by Vancouver. Number 53, Josh Farnsey with the tackle, and that's going to negate them to a field goal attempt.
Yes, that's right. All-world Josh Farnsey, the 2-time All-Star, last in season 18, got the tackle, and he has 33 tackles on the season, and that forces Florida to have to kick the field goal. So I'd say that's a moral victory for Vancouver to shut him down and make him force him to a field goal.
Yeah, a moral victory indeed. Ethan Sneed with the 3 points. That puts Florida back out in front, 10-7. And we've got a good game today, folks, just like we had expected this to be. We take a look at the schedules for both these teams and the records. Florida right now perfect 6-0, but Vancouver has had a tough schedule as this is down for a touchback. 3-3 coming in, but their strength of defeat, 12 wins to 6 losses. They've really played some tough teams, Wade, and they're capable of coming up with big victories.
Yes, they are. I mean, they have a very excellent team with stars all across the board, but it's just they've faced some really tough opponents as well.
First and 10 now for Vancouver coming off of that interception. The throw, it's going to be back to the line of scrimmage, is about all that Brett Killian is going to get. Second down coming up.
Yeah, the out route caught it, and I always kind of just hold my breath on those plays because I've seen so many of those defensive backs jump that route, but right there, Killian got it and couldn't get back to the first down marker, or excuse me, back to the line of scrimmage, got right back there in 2nd and 10.
Now Brown to the air once more. A flag is down. We're going to be looking for interference, I do believe. We'll see what the ref has to say. Now, a little extracurricular activity there between the two players, and they get Florida on that one.
Yes, they do. Jesus Smith on the penalty, the laundry on the field. But, I almost feel like he had to do that to prevent that catch.
And all things considered, it's going to go to the spot of the foul, and that's going to be just very small yardage that they'll gain on that. So could be worse for Florida. 1st and 10 now for Vancouver. 2 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Christian Brown to throw. And it is in and out of the hands of Kendra Wales.
Yeah, right there. It looked like another out route and looked like the defender was there in the face of the receiver and caused them to drop it, and just incomplete on the target. Kendra, she was in the area, but just the defender was there and knocked that ball down.
2nd down and 10 coming up. Under a minute left to play in this first quarter. Christian Brown back to throw. It's actually deflected. A really nice job by the defense coming in that time. That's Andrew Francis on the deflection.
Yes, indeed. It was an unfortunate drop. I thought Andrew Francis might have caught that, but Florida only brought 4 on the pass rush, and Vancouver had all day to throw, but just an errant throw that was almost intercepted.
Talking about loyal, Andrew Francis, 14 seasons in the league, all 14 with the Florida Storm. 3rd and 10, and we have wideouts 4, count them 4, to the bottom of the screen with 1 up top here for Vancouver. Pressure is coming, and Brown's just going to step up and run. He's going to be a little bit short. He didn't like anything he's seen downfield, and they'll have to punt this one away.
Yeah, not a bad idea just to save yourself a possible interception or, throwing it away and getting nothing. He runs for a few yards and sets up an easier punt for the punter.
And that punt got a good hang time on it. Fielded at the 26, and that's where it will stay as we come down to 20 seconds left in this first quarter. And what has been a kind of a surprising defensive effort by both teams up to this point.
That's right. I mean, we saw the fireworks early on, and then the defenses have stepped up a bit on these last 2 drives, forcing the field goal for Florida their last drive, and then Vancouver having to punt it away.
Now Florida showing motion. Stephen Bush to the bottom of the screen. Cochran to throw. Intercepted again. Number 53, Josh Farnsey makes his name known. And Vancouver again with fantastic field position.
Yes, indeed. Ron Cochran was looking in the area, and Farnsey jumped that route, caught it, and took it a few more yards. sitting in a zone, jumps that route, catches it in pretty, high pointing it, and then picks up a few yards. And now, look at this, partner. Vancouver got great field position on the Florida 26.
And you talk about, Wade, wanting to take advantage of the opportunities that the opponents give you. Florida nearing the red zone already. They have to come away with the score here, you would think. Take a look at Josh Farnsey's stats already for Vancouver. 3 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 interception as well. So he has had a productive day. Now can the offense make something happen? That in and out of the hands of Nick Lockett. He was looking that way, and that's incomplete thanks to Francis on coverage.
And something to point out about Vancouver's last game, they were in the red zone multiple times their last game and turned it over at least twice. They had a pick 6 on a red zone visit. And so, nothing's guaranteed when Vancouver gets in the red zone, at least in these past few weeks. So they'll see if they can correct their actions and get some scores on the board.
Brown under center with 1 man in the backfield. They go back to the areas they predominantly have the entire game, and nobody's home on that throw. 3rd down on the way.
Nope, and just incomplete pass, but good defense on the coverage and just off target, really. And now Vancouver's got to do something on 3rd and 10 to get this 1st down.
Got to take advantage of the opportunity that interception certainly gave you. Now, Brown back to throw. Pressure is coming. He does step up, and he's going to take off again, but he's not going to get out of the clutches of the Florida Storm. That time he is thrown down to the ground for a loss. Deontay Stoneville on the sack.
And that was a coverage sack all the way. It looked like he was going to take off. Brown was. Just unfortunately, the defense got to him fast and brought him down.
And that brings us to the end of quarter number 1. It's been exciting. A lot going on in this game, folks. Don't go anywhere. Florida leads Vancouver 10-7. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Well, the Legion's home field, the Delta Dome, is hosted by Delta Flare, a startup company building video games and economic solutions for blockchain compatibility. Grab your knots and get ready for their premier title, Valor Rising, Quest for the 7. Visit the website at deltaflare.gg for more details. The kick is up and good, so they don't get it into the end zone as they might have wanted to, but chance to win does knock down that field goal to tie this game up.
Yeah, and obviously, 7 points is ideal, but they tie it up with the field goal, and now it's a brand new ball game. So, we could almost say momentum's, I'd say, balanced out. So from here on, we're going to see some, interesting things now that Florida gets that stop after the untimely turnover, and Vancouver's defense is going to have to try to get another interception maybe.
And Florida on the return. Caleb Giffis out past the 30 to the 31-yard line where the Storm will set up shop. As you said, tie ball games. Wade, how does this change things now?
Yeah, I mean, they can pretty much just kind of stay how they're going because, it's working. But if they see something that they notice by these offensive and defensive coordinators, they can make adjustments on the fly.
Vandelay in motion. 3 receivers to the left and 1 man in the backfield for Florida. Cochran, that pass is tipped, and that's Farnsey again, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Wow.
And it seems like, we saw those stats earlier where, 31 rushing yards and then 3 rushing yards. And so maybe get the rushing games going. It seems like they have been passing quite a bit. So maybe, adjust and run a little bit more.
Honestly, neither team has really used the ground attack all that much. Delayed handoff, and just as you mentioned it, Bullet Beletsky comes shooting through the hole. 1st and 10 on the way.
Yeah, the draw. They heard us talking. They call the draw play. Bullet Beletsky just off in a hurry, and then gets up there, gets the 1st down in a hurry. And now look at that, the passing attempts right there.
Yeah,
Two
Cochran.
interceptions, yeah.
Right, Wade. And Cochran has been rattled at times. We'll see if that cleans up a little bit as this game goes on. Farnsey again on the stop, 2nd and 10. He met the halfback right at the line.
Yes, and I'd say Josh Farnsey's playing, at the moment, the best player of the first half to this point with the tackles and the interception. And right now, Ron Cochran's just having a nightmare with these defensive players for Vancouver.
Listen, Farnsey ate his Wheaties this morning, didn't he? I mean, there's
yes,
no
he
doubt.
did.
He is amped up for this game, and you can tell by his playing on the field. It's been great thus far. Now, again, another delayed handoff, and it seems to be working in their favor. Beletsky, again, getting another good chunk of about 6 yards on the play.
That's right. Florida's spreading out Vancouver's defense in these passing formations and using the draw plays. You don't get to see it that often, but, it can be very effective in the right situations.
1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right, and again, a man in the backfield for Florida. They will go back to the air. Cochran to throw. The big man, Ron Haynes, bulldozes over a man and gets close to the 40-yard line. Another set of downs, and Ron Haynes, again, proving so valuable to this team.
Yes, he is, and he's just tearing apart this zone defense by Vancouver. Right there, the slant route, he takes it right past Farnsey and gets that completion, picks up the first down. It seems like every single time we've called Ron Haynes' name, it's been for a first down.
We need to check on our buddy Mark Lopez after that one. That was an obliterating hit by Haynes that time. That pass just wayward. Could have had a little bit of interference on the line, and I do believe that it did. I believe that was Gerald Giudice on the deflection.
Yeah, and those great pressure by the defensive line. Giudice got his big old mitt on it and knocks that ball down, forcing a 2nd and 10, and Florida looking like they're in a passing situation.
And you're right, back to the air again. The throw off the hands of Haynes, I believe he was the intended target, and then he took a shot that time, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10 here.
Yes, indeed, and that's probably one of the first times we've seen Ron Haynes not come down with the ball right there, a drop. But, he might have heard footsteps, heard that defensive player coming on to him and was about to lay the hit on him.
And really not a lot of time to react there and even bring the ball in before he was leveled. On 3rd down, the fake handoff, they go deep, and look at that. That's how you convert a 3rd down. That's Art Vandelay with the reception.
Yeah, that's, like you said, that's how you convert a 3rd down. Vandelay gets past the defensive backs, right past the safety, the cornerback in the cover 3 zone, got past him, caught it in traffic, and gets a big first down, setting him up in prime territory inside the 20-yard line.
Vancouver literally did everything right. They even had Vandelay double teamed, and still Cochran found a way to put that one over the head of the defenders. On the run now, the halfback, and he doesn't get much, tackled by Reed on that play.
Yeah, tackled by Reed. And on that prior play, it was actually a man defense, but yeah, right there, they swarm the ball, bring him down for only a 2-yard gain, and now Florida 2nd and 8, and they've got anything they can call from their playbook because they've got pretty good territory where they can get a first down in good territory.
Take a note, Vandelay moving to the bottom of the screen there in motion. We'll see if Cochran looks his way. They go delayed handoff, and Beletsky stopped at the line. He tried to make something out of it. They're going to give him forward progress for 3rd and 9.
Yeah, and Vancouver shut down the middle of the play right there. Wasn't allowing nothing. The defense crashed down and stopped him and making it 3rd and 9. So definitely probably going to see a pass here.
This is where they had they hit the big play before with Vandelay on 3rd down. We'll see if they do sort of the same here. Rollout this time by Cochran. He shoots one to the end zone, and he is going to be called out of bounds. That was Stephen Bush with the intended reception. They're going to say he's just out. 4th and 9 coming up.
Let's see that red flag. Throw that flag. Nope, not going to see it. Nope.
I figured they would at least take a chance, but instead we're going to get a field goal to take the lead by Ethan Sneed here. The snap, the hold is good. The kick is up, and Florida So far, it's been a tight contest with a lot of field goals. The kickers coming through clutch in this one. Florida back out in front by 3.
Yes, indeed. And we've seen, these offenses get just a little bit one-dimensional. We really haven't seen the run games be able to get a lot going. We did see the big touchdown earlier by Comasack, but other than that, not much going.
This kick will be brought out. It is returnable across the 20 down to the 23-yard line. Let's go back to the SFL studios with our buddy Cameron Irvine.
Thank you, Cameron. Alamo City in Queen City tonight. How about the 57th overall pick, Arnold Paca? First catch of the season is a touchdown, and Queen City takes the lead over the Artillery, 14-7. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Cam. There's a cam-to-cam play, just like the Ron-to-Ron play that we're seeing out there on Florida's side today. 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line by Vancouver. Christian Brown back to throw. This time just a little short drop-off, but makes big gains. That is a great reception by Brett Killian.
Yes, it was. Inside the traffic, caught the ball, a tough catch, and then the extended effort on the second effort picks him up the first down, carrying the defender for a few more yards. And now, with 6 minutes left in the second, Vancouver's going to try to, tie this ball game up or get ahead with the touchdown.
1st and 10 as we are approaching the 5-minute mark in this first half. The handoff, they keep it on the ground, and not a whole lot going there. That was Asudo Nakai on the carry. If you're just joining us, my name's Cameron Duty. I'm joined by Wade Phillips. On stats, we've got Ron Haynes and Eddie Gage, and on production, of course, Cameron Irvine. And we thank you for being here with us on what has been a very, very fun game. Pretty much a defensive struggle up to this point, with the exception of a few explosive offensive plays. Now, Lockett going in motion for Vancouver on 2nd and 9. But they fake handoff. Brown with plenty of time, and he threw that one into a bevy of Storm defenders. Lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
Absolutely. It looked like Kendra Wells was in the traffic. It was his man coverage, but that pass by Brown was right where there were about 3 or 4 players on the defense in the immediate area, and just when you're throwing it into traffic like that, it's going to be a tough battle.
We'll see what they can do now on 3rd down. Pressure coming. He's got to get rid of it quick. Almost intercepted again. Lucky again that one fell harmlessly to the ground. A good deflection by Daniel Wright to bring up 4th down.
Yes, indeed. And Florida's defense brought quite a bit of pressure, and it looked like Brown kind of got happy feet, threw it out before the defense could get to him, but it was right at Daniel Wright. And fortunately for Vancouver, it was just batted down, and now it forces the punt.
This kick fair caught at the 19-yard line. Folks, if you are liking the game so far, we just want to encourage you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. Believe me, there is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action, and help the channel grow through your support. And again, we very much appreciate those like buttons and the subscriptions as well. It's what keeps us going here. On 1st down, it is a great reception pulled in by Beletsky. A nice job using him in the wide receiver area there, my friend Wade.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like right up the middle. It looked like a zone coverage. The safety brought him down, but great catch to catch that in traffic and haul it down. And look at that, 10 of 19 for 170 yards and 2 interceptions for Ron Cochran. So he's definitely going to want to keep it together going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Now the handoff that time doesn't go very far, and it's who else but Farnsey in for tackle for loss. I believe it's his 2nd tackle for a loss today.
And that's just another play by Farnsey, like you mentioned. Like every time we've called a defensive play for Vancouver, it's been Farnsey's name.
perfect. There is going to bring pressure. They instead back off and allow enough time for Cochran to throw and deliver the reception right at midfield to Caleb Giffus.
Giffus catches that tough catch, but brought it down, and then picks up the first down. He caught it with the footsteps coming in, and it looked like that was number 27, Mark Lopez, closing in a hurry. So great catch for the first down, and now Florida continues to string this drive alive.
They do, and you got to admit a nice open field tackle by Lopez to keep that one from going for more yardage. There was some open area there. Now the handoff to Beletsky. He gets 2. That was a tough run before Hamilton brought him down.
Yeah, Drew Hamilton brought down the ball carrier, only 2-yard gain, and that's just another rush play that hasn't gotten much going for both these squads, where we haven't seen much going other than that long touchdown.
2nd and 8. Cochran all day and just overthrows his man. He got hit in the meanwhile. 3rd and 8. That one just never really did have a chance for anybody.
Yeah, he had a big old defensive player coming right at him, and so he had to get rid of the ball, and unfortunately it sailed a bit on him and just was incomplete on the play, but hey, they'll take that over a sack.
Absolutely. An incompletion a lot better than a play for a loss, no doubt. 3rd and 8, and there goes Haynes in motion. That's going to put 3 receivers to the left of Ron Cochran. Pressure coming. He does get it off into the arms of another Vancouver player, and that's Lopez. Mark Lopez wanting to go the distance. He's got one man to beat, and it is Ron Cochran who pushes him out of bounds.
That's the 2nd interception for Mark Lopez today, and that time really made him pay with a huge return, and it was Ron Cochran that took care of the business on the back end and forced him out. But great play by Mark Lopez, reading the eyes of Ron Cochran, catching that ball and taking it for quite a few yards. 55 interception yards on the day for Mark Lopez on 2 interceptions, and so standout half for Mark Lopez. Ron Cochran, the half to forget.
It's the 3rd interception that has been taken back into Florida territory today. Vancouver, prime real estate, already in the red zone. They want a touchdown. What can they do on offense? Brown to throw. It's a little short route, and it does not connect, intended for Killian.
Right there, it looked like targeting the sideline again, Killian with that out route, and they couldn't complete it. It looked like Brown threw it just a little bit too long, and Killian just couldn't come down, stretched out for it, but in the end wasn't to be.
And Wade, isn't it a surprise how we have seen them go to the ground so little in this game? I mean, you've got Robert Redford and Nakai, after all, just to name a few.
Yeah, I think I want to say it might be just the adjustment from last game where they ran it a little too much.
Kendra Wells with the reception. Just as we're talking about the ground game, they hit them with the air attack. 1st and goal just outside the goal line.
And when they need it the most, Kendra Wells steps up huge on the route right over the middle. Looked like a short post route, caught it right at the goal line, was stopped, and now 1st and goal for Vancouver. And we'll see if their red zone woes from the past few weeks are changed and they can punch it in.
You talk about going to the ground. This is the prime spot to do it. Can the offense get a push? Can that line get a hole open for one of these backs? We'll see if they keep it on the ground on 1st and goal. Instead, it's a rollout. Brown to the air, incomplete that time, looking for his fullback, Mateo Privado.
Yeah, rolled out and had a few options, went to Privado, and they couldn't complete it. It looked like Privado had a defender right in the area to force that incompletion, but I'd like to see him try at least to punch it in with the run. It looks like it might happen on this play, at least an attempt.
Exactly. It very well could be an attempt here on 2nd and goal. And it is the give to the fullback and touchdown. That's Pseudo Nakai for 6.
And Pseudo Nakai gets the touchdown that only had 1 touchdown up to this point in the season, so that makes it 2 on the season. So they punch it in. We called it. They had to at least attempt to run it in. I mean, they're on the goal line, so they do, and they're rewarded for their effort.
Vancouver taking the lead at home. Chance to win with the extra point. They go ahead by 4 after a 4-play, 17-yard drive. That doesn't tell the big story, though. It's that interception return by Mark Lopez that put them in that fantastic real estate. They take advantage of it. Now with 2:38 remaining in an exciting first half, we will see if Florida can respond. And Florida takes this one out of the end zone. That is Caleb Giffus to the 26-yard line. Now, let's put it this way, Wade. Okay, you're the coach of Florida. How do you want to approach this next 2.5 minutes?
So, I mean, you're only trailing 4. So, I mean, I would try to run try to run the ball, establish to run a little bit, because, I mean, there's only 2:33 left. So, theoretically, you could, mix in some runs, run the clock down to where there's not much time for Vancouver to do anything, but you have to protect the ball.
1st and 10, and Cochran putting up a lot of yardage today, also 3 interceptions. Going to try to clean that up here on this drive. He throws deep once more, and he delivers a dart. I don't know how he fit that one in there to Stephen Bush.
Yeah, no, there were multiple defenders in the area, but it helped that Vancouver sent minimal pressure, but ultimately the pocket held up, and it just, look at that. That ball was right where it needed to be, through the receiver open, and then that window tightened up. He caught it and brought it down. Bush, with the reception, sets up the first down.
It literally looked like a laser throw. It looked like a beam. And 1st and 10 now already into Vancouver territory. And that brings us to our 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in this first half. You are watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube. With my partner, Wade Phillips, my name's Cameron Duty. Ron Haynes, Eddie Gage doing stats, and Cameron Irvine in the production booth. And we thank you all for watching what has been a very entertaining first half between these two opponents, these two storied opponents who are meeting for the 14th time in their histories today. Cochran the throw, Haynes wide open to the 20. He's going to stiff arm, try to stay in bounds. He gets pushed out, but not before a big-time first down.
And the pocket held up right there. Florida doing an excellent job maintaining this drive. And right there, Haynes, the target we've seen the most today for Florida, caught another pass and picked up huge yards, and now it sets up a great first down and 10.
In the red zone already, and plenty of time left on the clock. There is a toss right side to the halfback, and he is going to get minimum. Actually, they're going to say he didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage, a loss of 1, and a nice tackle that time by Zach Lay.
And I think we have an update on Ron Cochran's, all-time passing yards, and it looks like we might have a new number 2 quarterback.
Getting very close indeed. We'll keep track of that as this game progresses. A man in motion now, Bobby Tarantino to the bottom of the screen. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Cochran to throw, completed. Going to be for a short gain, I believe. They're going to say a handful of yards there. 3rd and 4 coming up.
Yeah, and actually it looks like Ron Cochran passed the mark, so that makes him number 2 all-time in the passing yard category.
Indeed, a congratulations in order there for Cochran. Now his goal, his focus, his vision, leading this team to victory. They're currently down by 4. They send a man in motion, Art Vandelay. The throw to the end zone. Ron Haynes caps it off. Touchdown, Florida. They go back in front.
That was an absolutely magnificent drive for Florida. Cochran gets the record, and all mainly thanks to Ron Haynes on that drive. He soaked up a huge amount of the targets, ending up with the touchdown. And Ron Cochran, can take that record, and then he can, take the touchdown to put them ahead in this ballgame. So it's an even sweeter play for Ron Cochran.
Take a look at Ron Cochran's career. 51,912 passing yards, second all-time. And again, congratulations in order for Ron Cochran. The extra point is good. Florida, with that, takes a 3-point lead, and we still have 1:13 left. And I ask you the same question for Florida that I'm going to for Vancouver, Wade. This 1:13, what do? You're in a tight contest here. How many shots do you take downfield?
I'm taking at least 2 or 3, but, try to soak up some of the time with some runs. But, you don't want to use too much because you're in a good spot. Your defense has been playing well. And so you don't want to get a take, you don't want a turnover here where Florida can get even more points. So I'd play, take the shots, but also try to protect the ball a little bit.
Ron Haynes, have a day, Mr. Haynes. 92 receiving yards, the 4K23 career high. How impressive is that? They keep it on the ground with Redford. He's got room to run. He gets the first down and then some before they call the timeout.
Yeah, and it was a pass formation, and they took that little outside run, and Robert Redford was able to pick up some pretty decent yards, picking up the first down. Couldn't get out of bounds, so they had to burn the timeout. But we're at that territory where it's timeout territory.
Believe it or not, Robert Redford's still looking for his first touchdown of the season. Christian Brown to throw. And that one falls incomplete. Kind of a dangerous throw there with some Storm defenders in the territory. It also stops the clock. Second down coming up.
Absolutely. It looked like the pocket held up, gave Christian Brown time to throw, but was off target on the pass and forces a 2nd and 10. And Vancouver can maybe take a few more shots down the field.
Showing pressure, they back off. Christian Brown, that was a nice reception, a really athletic reception by Stephen McMichaels, turning his body just so to reel that reception in, and they call a timeout on top of it.
And another catch by Stephen McMichaels. He's really blossomed into a weapon at the tight end position, and right now, Christian Brown, 8 of 18, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and let's see if they can continue this drive and get some points on the board.
Nobody in the backfield. They're sending them all downfield today for Vancouver. The throw, complete. Oh, what a nice reception. Brett Killian, and that's going to get you a Retroid's nice hands catch for sure. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. Back to the air they go. Quickly, no huddle. 5-yard gain on that reception. 36 seconds and counting in this first half. Staying with the same formation, going deep, the throw intercepted. They pushed it just a little bit too much against this talented Florida Storm defense, and it's Evan Carroll who comes up with another interception on the season.
And the pass rush got to Christian Brown. They brought 5 on the pass rush. The linebacker shot that middle of the line and broke the block, almost got to Christian Brown, and Christian Brown threw it right to the Florida defender, and now Florida gets it and can pretty much run this clock out and go into halftime with the lead.
That was such an impressive drive that was forming. They got a little bit happy, I felt like, in the no-huddle department, and Christian Brown throwing the INT, his second of the day. Cochran to throw. He's going deep. He wants to try to get his team at least a field goal range if he can do so. Stephen Bush with another big-time reception, and we'll see how much they want to push it as clock continues to run.
Yeah, they don't use the timeout. They have 2 still, but they pick up the yards, but they don't call timeout, so the clock continues to run, and it looks like they're just going to kind of let this clock go into halftime.
It'll be interesting to see if they snap this one more time. Under 10 seconds and counting. And they'll just keep it on the ground with Bullet Beletsky. Run out the clock. And that will bring us to halftime. A very exciting first half. This one has been everything it was built to be and more. These two old rivals going at it as only they know how to do best. Florida leads Vancouver 20-17 at the break. Wade, give us your thoughts. What is your opinions on this first half?
So many passes. I mean, it's almost like these teams have somewhat abandoned the run. They're still peppering it in every now and again, but we just have not seen the success on the run that these teams are accustomed to. But it's been a lot of air miles throughout this ball game, and we've seen some big plays and we've seen some interceptions. So do we see these teams kind of tighten up in the second half? They'll have to get a victory, especially if they want to, come away with a clean victory and not force their coaches to pull their hair out by the end of the game.
Talking about Florida's offense, 333 total yards of offense in the first half alone. With that being said, they are only leading by 3. They'll get the ball back to start. Vancouver will get the ball back to start the second half. I apologize. We welcome you back into the Delta Dome here. My name is Cameron Duty. Wade Phillips with me in the booth. We've got Ron Haynes, Eddie Gage on stats. Those guys just doing fantastic. And, of course, Cameron Irvine on the production end of things. We're having a good time, folks, and I can't wait to see what this second half is going to bring. The return by Zorro Lunar gets it across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Now, Christian Brown, they had the really good drive going. His last time out on the field, an INT. From a quarterback mentality, Wade, how do you shake that off?
You can start by maybe completing some shorter passes, get in rhythm, see it happen, see that process happen, and get you in rhythm and complete some passes to your wide receivers.
Brown rolls out, and there's one of those completions that we're referring to. Brett Killian on the reception. Let's go back to Cameron Irvine at SFL headquarters for this game break.
Thank you, Cam. The action is fast and furious here in the late night block. Ace Fennick to Garrison Blue. Get off me! Touchdown, Alamo City. 21-17 just before the half. Artillery, back to you.
Take a look at that play, man. Good football all around the league in this late night block. A handoff that time by Nakai, and he just could not turn the corner. That was Carroll who come up with the interception a few plays ago, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 3.
Florida brought a run blitz on that play and ended up with the corner staying home and getting the tackle. So excellent contained by the cornerback right there.
The handoff, and it goes absolutely nowhere. And boy, that's not the way you want to start a second half. Heading back to the benches very quickly after that loss on the play. 4th and 5 coming up. They'll have to punt.
One Mississippi right there on that play. Got the tackle for a loss. And yeah, Florida's defense came out swinging in this second half and forces the 3 and out for Vancouver's offense.
Take a look at the 3rd down efficiency. Important numbers there. 4-7 for Florida, 1 of 5 for Vancouver. And Vandelay with the punt return out to the 41-yard line. So they'll have really good field position. Let's also mention Florida is one of the top teams when it comes to average starting field position. They just find a way to always start off in really good shape.
Yeah, and it helps that they pick off the ball so many times that, for the most part, it sets them up in great field position.
So on 1st down now, we see Cochran back out. They give it to Beletsky, and he gets 3. Now, an interesting point to mention, the last 2 times that these teams have played, Vancouver has beat Florida. They've had to score over 40 points to do it. At the moment, anyway, we're looking at a low-score game, which we were not really expecting, Wade.
No, we weren't, unless something happens where these teams just explode in offensive production in the second half. I'm foreseeing not getting to 40, at the moment.
This next drive will be very critical and indicative of whether they can get to that or not. That handoff, wow, they're going to say forward progress, and that was just the complete sheer will by Chris Komisak to get a couple of yards out of that one. 3rd and 5 on the way.
Absolutely. That was a lot of fortitude by Komisak to just pick up anything on that play, because Vancouver shot the gap, got upfield, and in the backfield, and then Komisak did whatever he could just to pick up a couple.
3rd and 5, a big 3rd and 5 here. Cochran now to throw. He's got his man, but he throws it a little bit high, and there was a lot of legions in that vicinity. That one is incomplete. They'll have to punt now.
Yeah, another 3 and out for an offense in the second half, and that was excellent defense by Vancouver's secondary to force that incompletion. It looked like they could have almost completed it, but it was not to be, unfortunately.
So we'll say hello to Marcus Agrippa as he will punt this one, trying to pin him deep, and it's going to bounce into the end zone. So Vancouver will come out to their 20-yard line to start their second drive of the half. A really good job of both of these defenses playing, lights out, obviously. I mean, take a look at it. As we mentioned, the score pretty low from what the past couple of matchups have been. Somebody we haven't heard a lot of yet, which is kind of a surprise, Wade. We'll get back to that point in just a moment. I'll leave it there for this next play. The handoff, a gain of 1. Talking about players for Vancouver who are so important, we talk about the Vancouver defense and how well they've done keeping Florida at bay. Bobo Caudill, we haven't heard from him yet. He's got a league-high 7 sacks.
Absolutely, and it's been a quiet day for him, and it's kind of maybe a reason why Florida's got the lead tonight.
2nd and 9 for Christian Brown and this Vancouver offense. And boy, I'll tell you what, that one was not pretty. That was Jones on the coverage there, 3rd and 9. That one could have actually went for a loss had it been completed.
Yeah, Adam Jones, great coverage right there, staying like a stick him on the receiver and forcing that incompletion. So excellent job to make it 3rd and 9.
This Vancouver offense has yet to produce anything this second half. This is their second drive. They're waiting on that spark that they had the first half of the game. We'll see if they get it on 3rd down. Christian Brown to throw. He has enough time. He looks deep, and there it is. Brett Killian for the 1st down. What a throw by Christian Brown.
It was a 4-man rush, and Brown just has been tearing up these, 3 and 4-man rushes so far today, and right there, no exception. Brett Killian with the reception in the face of the defender, so tough catch, caught it, and now 1st down, and Vancouver's offense continues to drive after that initial 3 and out to start this half.
It actually looked as if he kind of broke off the route a little bit to do the swim move inside to get that reception. Great job by Killian. Pressure coming. Quick drop off to Nick Lockett. 9 yards. Nice job of him taking a small route and getting 9 yards out of it.
Yeah, and Brown had to get that ball out quick because Florida brought everyone and the kitchen sink right there. And the pass was complete. Brown just had to just throw it basically as soon as he received that the snap, and fortunately for them, 9-yard gain.
2nd and 1 now as they have just crossed into enemy territory across the 50 here. The handoff going nowhere that time. That was Robert Redford trying to squeeze into a tight hole, and it just didn't work.
Florida brought up quite a few people on a run blitz right there, and it worked out to force this 3rd and 1. And now Vancouver has to do something to pick up a 1st down, and it looks like they're in a heavy set possible run formation.
Yeah, this is a big 3rd and 1 coming up. They do keep it on the ground to Redford. He gets the 1st down. He's got some lanes. Boy, that was open. It closed quickly, but not before Redford gets another 1st down.
So we continue to see Vancouver kind of plug away on the ground game, and we didn't see this very much in the first half by either one of these teams, and they continue to pound the rock, and so far it's been working on this drive.
We had wondered when we would see the ground game make an appearance for really either team in this game, and now here we are. Killian in motion. He comes to the bottom of your screen. Now 2 to the left for Brown. Pressure is coming. He's got to get rid of it. Killian wide open. First down. Another impressive drive that Vancouver is putting together, and it all started, we mentioned that spark, Wade, that first reception that he made on third down. That's changed the complexity of this drive.
Absolutely. Brown's cooking on this drive right there. They left Killian wide open on that little curl route, caught it. It picked up a few yards after the catch, picked up the first down, and look at that. Past 10 completions, an interception, 2 incompletions, the rest all complete.
Christian Brown is warming up and doing a nice job. And clock running rather quickly now in this third quarter, with the ground game being a little more in effect, a little more time coming off the clock. Brown to throw to Lockett. First down, he held on to it. They're just outside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, excellent pass play by Brown. Looked like that was maybe a post route that was complete and connected right there by Lockett. Catches it right in front of the safety. The footsteps did not bother Lockett at all. Catches it, brings it down, first down, and now Vancouver very much threatening in the red zone. And so far they've paid it off today with a touchdown, so we'll see if they continue that trend and punch it in again.
You know, Daniel Wright delivered a hit on Lockett, and he did a great job of holding on to the football. And I believe that time that is Pseudo Nakai with a gain of 3, so 2nd and 7. And again, let's take a look at Brett Killian's stats, 109 yards, and that's his first 100-yard game in his last 9 games. So Brett's having a big night tonight for this Vancouver team.
Indeed.
Now on 2nd and 7, that's a short little incompletion by McMichaels is who they were intending there. Wanted a quick little play, and they just couldn't get it together.
Florida stacked the box right there, just absolutely not letting anything in front of them, and it worked. They forced the incompletion, and now Vancouver has a 3rd and 7 that they have to, get this first down.
Now, this is a huge 3rd and 7, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Vancouver wants to get in the end zone, to the end zone, and it is incomplete. They were looking Brett Killian's way, but Francis and company on the coverage. A great job that time of keeping that one away.
Florida's defense stands strong right here. 3 Florida defenders in the area. They tried to target, it looked like Nick Lockett, but it was not to be, and now forces a field goal possibly attempt. And so great stand by Florida's defense to force this attempt, and Vancouver's offense, hey, it was a sustained drive. They were able to get the run game going, so it bodes well for them if they can continue that in the future.
A 25-yard attempt by Chance to win, and he ties this game up. Again, we are all tied up at 20. As we said, this Vancouver team, they're staying right there. They continue to claw back when they get down. Florida has also had to come from behind a couple of times, and both of these teams right now just trying to one out, outdo the other, and it's just not happening, is it?
No, it's not. And on that drive, it ultimately ended up being 2 pass breakups at the end of the drive to force that field goal. So really, both these defenses have shown up in this second half. And, last week, both these teams had to fight from behind. Florida ultimately getting the victory, but Vancouver couldn't do it. So, it's kind of sticking to that same theme in this game. One of these teams is going to have to keep fighting this back and forth game that it's been.
If Florida comes away with the victory today, they will go 7-0, a repeat of what they did. Oh my goodness, and another interception by guess who? Mark Lopez.
Yeah, the hat trick by Mark Lopez, his 3rd interception of the night, and Vancouver needed another spark, and there they get it. Mark Lopez just says, hey, hop on my back, fellas. I'll march you to the victory. And today, he's been no stranger to getting the interceptions.
Have a day, Mark Lopez. Look at that, 3 interceptions. Yeah, I was getting ready to say if Florida wins, they go 7-0. That will be repeating what they did last year on their way to the SFL championship. But if Vancouver wins, they go above 500, 4-3, and what a shot in the arm that would be for this team who has played some very tough opponents early on in this season. Right now, they are in good position if they can punch something through. That time, Nakai stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Jesus Smith just plugged that hole and stopped it for no gain, forces a 2nd and 10, but Vancouver's offense has to get something and fix these woes in the opponent territory. So if they could do something, hey, all they need is a field goal, and they're right back ahead in this ballgame.
But Wade, they want the touchdown. They want to be able to show that they can cross the plane for 6. We'll see if they can do that here. Oh, and that pass looked like it was very promising going for McMichaels, but knocked away, incomplete.
Excellent defense to break up that pass. McMichaels looked like you mentioned, had a nice little soft spot, but nope, the defense just flew to the ball and forced it down, break up. And so 3rd and 10, Vancouver's got to do something to pick up 10.
There is a couple of times in this game that this Vancouver's best offense has been their defense. Mark Lopez, 3 of those trips that I can think of. Let's see what the offense can do here. Brown, oh, that's a nice reception going for Brett Killian, their go-to man in times of trouble. 1st and 10, the drive continues.
And when they need a first down, they go to Killian. It seems Florida's been going to Ron Haynes, but nope, Vancouver's been using Killian early and often on these 3rd down plays, and he's just been a first down machine and already over the 100-yard mark on the day and continues to pad his stats.
That middle of the field has proven to be a sweet spot for Vancouver. I would not be surprised if they look that way as this game progresses. 1st and 10 now on the 14-yard line. The throw to the end zone. That's Killian. He shakes a man off, and he makes it to the end zone. Touchdown, Vancouver.
And Vancouver has been living and dying off the back of Brett Killian today. That's his 10th reception of the day. This one picks up the touchdown, and it looked like a, manned coverage right here. Tight coverage by the defense, but breaks the tackle, and then that 2nd tackle attempt, he carries it into the end zone for the score, and now Vancouver ahead again, close to pending the extra point, making it a 7-point ball game.
The physicality in that route, he shugs the defender off right off the line. He cuts inside and then runs over 2 other defenders on his way to the end zone and chance to win with the extra point. And he's giving this Vancouver Legion team a great chance to win. Mark Lopez, we mentioned, Brett Killian, a lot of big-time players on this Vancouver team. And you've got yourself a lead, Vancouver Nation. Now, what can Florida do?
One man we forgot to mention, Josh Farnsey's been putting his impact on this ballgame as well.
Josh Farnsey has certainly came up and made some big stops in this game. It's a total team effort, and this team has continued to do a great job. Now for Florida, we know that they're used to having to battle back as well. It's not the first time that they've been down in a 3rd quarter with 2 minutes and some extra change to go. We'll see what they can do. They start out by sending everybody downfield. No man in the backfield. We've got a man in motion here for Florida. That's Bobby Tarantino coming to the bottom of your screen. Pressure coming, but he stands in there, and a great job of using Boletsky again in the wide receiver slot.
Yeah, and we saw a very similar play. I think it might have been the same play earlier on where Boletsky does that same route. It catches it the exact same way. So they weren't able to shut down Boletsky on that play. He catches it and burns him for a first down.
Boletsky coming into today's game had 13 receptions, 160 yards, averaging about 12 yards of a catch. So really a nice job. They like to use him out of that position. Now the handoff up the middle to Kaysen, and he gets about 3.
And the front 7 did the work right there on that play. It was man coverage on the back end, and that time the backup running back only picks up 3. So a nice little play, defensive play by the defense to force that only 3-yard gain.
2nd and 7 here. We're coming down to the end of the 3rd quarter. There's a little screen pass, and it doesn't go very far. Comasack on the receiving end of that. 3rd and 6 coming up.
And right there, the defense stacked the box a bit, not wanting anything to beat them in the run game. And right there, it worked out because the little swing pass to Comasack was shut down very early.
And look at that stat. No receiving yards by Ron Haynes yet this second half. Again, another screen pass, and that Legion swarms the receiver, Bullet Boletsky, and that's going to bring up 4th down as we come to the end of the third quarter here.
Yeah, and Emmanuel Blackman got the tackle, and so 4th and 2, we'll see if, this punt can, pin them deep, or if maybe Vancouver can get a pretty nice little return on it.
Marcus Agrippa back out. There is the snap. We'll see what kind of hang time he can get on this one. It's a good-looking punt all the way down to the 10-yard line. They're going to actually mark him at the 12 with 18 seconds remaining in this third quarter. So now the Vancouver defense, again, stepped up when they needed to. They locked that Florida team down. Kind of surprised that the conservative play choice is to go with two straight screens there, Wade.
Yeah, absolutely. It seemed like those downfield passes to Haynes were working so effectively in the first half, but right there, like you mentioned, 2 straight swing passes that didn't get much.
Christian Brown, about run right into coverage, and that pass tipped away. A nice job defensively all the way around by Florida on that play.
Florida just dominated that play. I mean, like you mentioned, that great block to ultimately shield the quarterback from the defensive end who was crashing in a hurry, and then the defense gets a hand on it and forces the incompletion. So really, they can breathe again for Vancouver right now.
On second down, one man in the backfield. We'll see if they keep it on the ground. No, they go back to the air. Again, the pocket collapsing, and Brown steps up, and there was nobody downfield. He took off, and he gets 2.
Yeah, the defense played contain right there, and he had nowhere to run, and it forces that short play.
We are at the end of the third quarter, the fourth quarter on its way. Vancouver leading Florida 27-20. Let's take a look at our league rights.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Folks, we want to remind you that APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the SFL. To explore the library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Brown wants to step up, and he throws a bullet, incomplete, intended for Brick Hillian.
Yeah, going to old Trusty right there. Couldn't complete it. And now this is a rare punt for possibly upcoming for Vancouver in this second half.
A rare punt indeed. And you got to think that this Florida defense did exactly what they wanted to. They pin them deep. And now good field position possibly coming up for the Florida Storm. The punt is away. And yeah, good field position for sure. Vandelay brings that one across midfield back to the Vancouver 47. Cameron Irvine, what you got, friend?
Thanks, Cameron. We got to show you this. Queen City gets the first down. William McDowell is celebrating, but the focus is going to be on Adrian Ellis's block outside. Bam! Wow, you don't see blocking like that from wide receivers every day. Close one over in Buffalo, 21-17 Artillery still late in the third. Back to you.
They just knocked that guy into next week. First and 10 now for Florida, already in Vancouver territory. The run gets 2 before being stopped by Reed up the middle.
And so we see a run early on. So it makes me wonder, are they going to continue to try to run a little bit more since we haven't really seen them do much since that big gain in the first?
Good point indeed. We'll see. They delay handoff that time to Boletsky, who gets a few more 3rd and 6, a quick 3rd and 6 all the way.
So they continue it, and now it's 3rd and 6, like you mentioned. So theoretically, I foresee them throwing it here. Farnsey with another tackle, seven tackles, 1 interception on the day. But yeah, we'll see if they maybe go through the air here.
Cochran again to throw. He rolls out, getting a little open field, and he delivers. What a nice job of threading the needle again for Stephen Bush.
and that was another cross-field throw by Cochran that's complete, that time to Stephen Bush, and it was, way across the field, and he was open, but also had multiple Vancouver defenders right in front of him to impede any more forward progress. And there we go. Stephen Bush, 101 receiving yards on the day.
I want to pose a question, Wade. The reason for the rollouts, maybe to get him a little more comfortable after the turnovers in today's game, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, because Vancouver's got such a great front seven that forces so many just bad passes through their pressure and sacks and stuff that maybe they're just trying to roll them out, get them away from these defensive ends and, get some wide open space to throw.
They haven't really been able to get him to the ground, but they have got pressure to him, and that is important. 2nd and 4, they keep it on the ground. This time, a nice stiff arm by Chris Comasack, and the fullback rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling for the first down.
Yes, he takes that run, hops it outside, breaks that initial tackle with a stiff arm. It says, "Get off me," and then hits that corner and breaks and carries that defender for a first down.
This Vancouver defense has played lights out. Can they stop them here? No! Touchdown, Florida! Big-time reception by Caleb Giffus. A strike by Ron Cochran. We're a point away from having a tie ball game.
Yes, we are right there. Cochran targets Giffus, catches it in a bit of traffic right here. It looked like, that was number 23, Drew Hamilton, the safety, on the defense and couldn't knock the ball out, and Florida strikes back with a touchdown of their own. And with 7:46 left in the fourth quarter, we could see ourselves with the tie ball game here.
Absolutely. The extra point now. The attempt coming up by Ethan Sneed. The snap, the hold, the kick is good. Tie ball game. That is definitely a retroactive catch of the game. Again, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. And again, he delivered. He got a great reception there, but boy, he took a shot as well, didn't he?
He did. Oh, my goodness. But, maintained it and brought it down.
1st and 10 now for Vancouver. Tie ball game. All right, Wade, I like going to you in these situations. Now we've got a tie ball game, 7:45 left in the game. If you're Vancouver, more of the same, or do you try to change things up a little bit here?
I do more of what was working for them. They were able to get some runs that were picking up decent yards, but then really what was working for them was Brett Killian. Brett Killian is tearing up this Florida defense.
A little dump off that time to Pseudo Nakai. He takes it and makes something out of nothing. A really nice job, 7-yard gain.
Absolutely, 7 yards right there. It's a good gain. So, anytime you have a 2nd and 3 where you can really just open up your playbook, turn a page to any page and point to something and you can use it. So, it looks like they might go run right here with a heavy formation.
2nd and 3 on the way, 7 minutes and 17 seconds and counting left. This time they keep it on the ground, and it's a fumble. And I believe it's Florida who recovers.
Wow, how about that?
How about that, Wade?
Yeah, the handoff right here gets stuck behind the offensive lineman. The defense did a great job getting great push on the line, and that time the defender just clocks him when he doesn't expect it, and he fumbles it, and now Florida gets this back and can very much threaten inside Vancouver territory.
It was Jesus Smith who come up on the fumble recovery. If I'm not mistaken, a lot happened in a very short amount of time there, folks. Now, Bullet Boletsky, he's ready to turn on the Jets. A spin move continues to power his way down for the first down, and you can tell that just lit a fire under this Storm team.
Yes, it did. And Florida is outscoring opponents 29-0 in the fourth quarter this season. And right now, they continue to maintain that record. And the last 4 games, not the season, but so far 29 points, 0 points given up. So they continue to cook in the fourth quarter.
6:46 and remaining here in the fourth, and Florida trying to get back out front, taking advantage of the fumble that they recovered, and a good tackle that time by number 55, Marquise Reed.
Yeah, and now they've got some options on 2nd and 9 in pretty good field position, but let's see if maybe they try to stay on the ground. No, they are going through the air all the way.
Relying on that arm of Ron Cochran, he finds time to step up. He's got a little bit of room. He gets a nice gain of about 4, I guess we'll say. 3rd and 5 on the way.
And that's definitely something I appreciate about Ron Cochran, is that when the play kind of breaks down, he's not afraid to take off, pick up a few yards, and instead of just kind of forcing a pass and hoping and praying.
I want to back up real quick and give credit to Juan Mississippi, who forced that important fumble. Oh, that pass, it looked like it was going to be open for 6, but a good job of the Vancouver defense closing in very quickly for the incompletion. That was Drew Hamilton on a game-saving deflection.
Yeah, Drew Hamilton showed up big right there and forces this 4th and 5 field goal attempt. They needed him big, and he showed up, and now this Vancouver defense gets a moral victory if they can, get this offense to get some points after Florida takes the lead. They can, do some damage on offense.
Ethan Sneed's kick is good. That will put Florida back out front. Obviously a victory on all fronts for Florida. You get the fumble recovery, you get the lead, but you got to feel like for Vancouver, that was kind of a game-saving moment there, holding them to 3, right?
Absolutely, because you're down 3, but hey, a touchdown gets you the lead. So hey, their defense showed up after the untimely fumble by the offense.
And that is Lunar on the return across the 30 to the 32. So he gives his Vancouver Legion a really nice field position to begin this drive. Now 5:44 remaining in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, and so Vancouver, I'd like to see them continue to thread the needle to Brett Killian. It's been working to perfection so far today, but don't get so one-dimensional that you completely abandon the run.
It's that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's worked so far for them. Keep it going. 1st and 10 now for Vancouver. They keep it on the ground to Pseudo Nakai. He gets 2. He spun away from a man before getting a couple, and that's 2nd and 8 on the way.
Yeah, only 2 yards on the play, but they continue to, stay true to their balanced attack right there. Nakai with the carry, and looks like, the split pro look. So we'll see what they do on this play.
Back to the ground for Robert Redford. He gets about 3. So quickly, an important 3rd and 5 coming up. You're right about it being balanced, but there's a threat of getting a little too safe here, right?
Absolutely. That's what happened last week. They continued to run too long and eventually ran out of time. So at some point, they've got to, start passing a little more and try to get big plays on each down.
3rd and 5 for Christian Brown. Plenty of time. He delivers a strike. Guess who? Killian with the 1st down. You mentioned it. Keep feeding him the football, and good things will come.
Yes, indeed. And so far, it looks like Brown has identified a potential mismatch on that potential matchup, and he just keeps feeding him. Look at this, 340 yards through the air for Florida, 260 for Vancouver, 87 rushing yards, and 34 for Vancouver. So far, it's been a passing-dominated game.
Closing in on midfield here is Vancouver. 4:50 remaining in this game. Killian going in motion. He'll go to the air. Screen pass out to the big man, Mateo Pravado. He gets a 1st down before getting shoved out of bounds.
That was an excellent pass by Brown right there to identify Pravado on the little swing pass, caught it. The stiff arm, the huge stiff arm springs him for the first down. Yeah, the block, excellent block on the outside. And our great stats team brought up a point. Brett Killian has 17 targets on the day. No other receiver has more than 5.
And like you mentioned, give a call to Nick Lockett on that block. If he ain't catching big-time passes, he's throwing big-time blocks. 1st and 10 now into enemy territory. Vancouver, the Legion, on the charge here. Oh, and the pressure coming. He escapes it, and he stands in there and delivers a shot. How he done it, I don't know. Kendra Wells with the reception.
Yeah, no, stayed strong, made the defender eject over his shoulder, and then Kendra Wells caught that pass, picked up 8, and forces a 2nd and 2. So, possibly forces a short run attempt to pick up this first.
2nd and 2. The handoff to Redford. Oh, and that's just a great job of snuffing out that run by number 53, Ryan Tobin.
Yeah, Ryan Tobin started out hot in this ballgame and so far is finishing out strong today with that tackle for a loss, and now it forces a 3rd and 3. So we'll see if Vancouver, it looks like they might stick to the ground game right here.
As a defensive fan of football, you got to love to see plays like Tobin right then. They do keep it on the ground, and it's going to be another defensive play by number 50, Jesus Smith, and they're going to be a yard short here, 4th and 1. What do you do here, Wade?
Yeah, I'm thinking I might go for it. I mean, you're at the point where you're losing, and you're very fast running out of time, and it looks like they're just going to punt it away here.
So they're going to hope that their defense can make a stand here, get them the ball back late in this game. Here's the punt, going to try to coffin kick it here, and it's going to be fair call. No, he's going to take off. Excuse me. A good job of Vandalay, I believe it was there, cutting through traffic and getting some important yards, because that will allow Florida with a little room to breathe.
Yeah, and our Vandalay has, all the courage in the world. Looked like he had some pretty good blocks right there. Got it, fielded it inside about the 15-yard line and turned upfield, picked up a few, and makes it past where he would have gone if it was a touchback.
Great stats right there in the stats booth today. That is a 13-yard punt, a net 13-yard punt. 1st and 10 on the 21-yard line now for Florida. They are in control here. They know that if they take control, get a couple of first downs, they can put this game out of reach. They give it to Boletsky, who gets 2. The clock will continue to run.
And wisely continue to try to run out this clock late in this ball game. Florida's excellent in the 4th quarter, and today no different. But they continue to run. This clock continues to wind down. Josh Farnsey, 9 tackles today with the 1 interception.
One thing's for sure, both of these teams, they're going to go down swinging no matter what. 2nd and 8, 2:50 and counting in this 4th quarter. The handoff to Comisac. He churns forward, and he gets a couple. They're going to give him 3. And again, an important 3rd down on the way.
And it was excellent penetration by the defense to get up in there and not really allow the offensive line to get any push. And then the running back by proxy runs right into the back of his blocker and is ultimately corralled for not very much going.
3rd and 5. Nobody in the backfield. They're going to go out of a pass formation. Cochran rolls out, and he's got his man, Bullet Boletsky, for the 1st down.
And Bullet Boletsky is an absolute weapon in the passing game. We've seen it. That's the 3rd time today that he's split out wide, that he's caught the pass intended for him. That time looked like a little, somewhat of an out route, caught it, and enough for the 1st down. So when they've needed a big play, he has been there, and it's no different on that play.
They were able to get him out of bounds. Credit for Farnsey, who kind of got bit on the coverage running back to make sure that he pushed Boletsky out of bounds. So 1st and 10, the clock does stop. It's going to act like a timeout for them, honestly. And they'll keep it on the ground here, I would assume. Oh, man, what a shot. What a shot that Comisac gave the Vancouver defender coming up.
Yeah, Comisac is a handful back there. Right there, just all the power in the world, trucks the defender, but ultimately was only a 2-yard gain, and now we got that 2-minute warning.
2 minutes to go SFL action. What more could you want on a Saturday night? A 3-point game. Don't go anywhere. How will this one pan out? Vancouver is fighting for their life. Florida wanting to put this game under lock and key. The ball right at midfield, as you can see, folks. Thank you for watching with us. The toss play to Comasack, and it's the defense of the Legion who comes up big time again. That's Farnsey. They've got to take a timeout. And again, it all comes down to this third down, Wade.
Yes, it does. And right there on that run, McDonaldson, was pulling but couldn't seal that edge and block the defender. And ultimately, that defender shot the gap and brought down the ball carrier for not much of a gain.
On that last third down completion, that pass to Beletsky was 22 yards. What do they do on this third down attempt? Two receivers. Go ahead, Wade.
Pass it. Got to pass.
Yep. Oh, they stay run with Beletsky, and he's going to get close to the first, but that's going to play right into Vancouver's hands. They get the timeout. They'll have one remaining, so they're going to get the ball back here. Really surprised that they went run on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they wanted to run it, at least go for it on fourth down. I mean, you have a mismatch with nobody covering your wide receivers where you can audible and maybe try to, hit them deep.
And this punt sails into the end zone. So they'll bring it out to the 20. All right, Christian Brown, you've got 1:39. You've got all kinds of weapons. You've got Redford in the backfield. You've got Nick Lockett. You've got Kendra Wells. You've got Brett Killian, just to name a few. Tight end, you've got Stephen McMichaels. Cables McGill, not heard much out of Cables today. Which one of these players is going to come up and make the big play? Will it be a Florida defensive player who puts this one on ice? We're getting ready to find out. Brown to throw. Pressure coming. He just steps up, and he gets some positive yardage. 2nd and 3.
The 5-man rush forced him to scramble a bit, but then when he takes off, picks up 7. Luckily for the defense, they had someone in the area that was able to bring him down for, stopping him short of the first down, but now looking like they might just try to run this here.
This Delta Dome is on its feet. They do run it with Pseudo Nakai. Stopped short that time. They're going to let the clock run. 3rd and 2 coming up here.
And they are, running out of time. They tried to run it right there, which that does not help their cause at all.
It doesn't, but at the same time, they don't want to have an opportunity for Florida to get this ball back. Trying to be the last team to score. 3rd and 2 now on the way. We know it's 4-down territory for sure. They keep it on the ground with Redford. He does get the first. He's got more room. Shakes a tackle across the 40, close to the 45, and here comes the no huddle. 37 seconds and counting. They're right in line with the play clock. Brown to throw. Complete. Kendra Wells. No huddle. They continue. 26 seconds, 25 seconds, and counting. They'll snap it right here. Plenty of time for Brown. Oh, they a little shovel toss. Nobody downfield. 15 seconds and counting. They still have one timeout. The throw, middle of the field, nothing much there. They had to drop it off. And now with 6 seconds to go, at what point here with 6 seconds, do they have enough time to try to get a deep shot, or are they in field goal range? They are. Okay, they're going to say a 53-yard field goal attempt, Wade. Wow.
Yeah, 53. That's quite a distance.
Chance to win with a chance to tie. The snap, the hold, and he does it. The kick is good. Tie ball game with just 2 seconds remaining in regulation. We might get free football out of all this.
That's right, free football. And that drive, when they went to the no huddle, they were in kind of a bad formation for that. But hey, it worked. They got to just enough distance for their kicker to be able to knock a 53-yarder through the uprights.
Whew, let's just take a breath really quickly here.
Yeah.
Into the end zone for the touchback. Okay, let's regroup. We're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Regulation football, that's over with. It's Saturday night. We're living for some extra football. Overtime on its way. This is the SFL on YouTube. Real quick, let me just say hello. My name's Cameron Duty. I'm with Wade Phillips, Eddie Gage, Ron Haynes on stats, Cameron Irvine, on production. Too many Camerons in this booth. Florida will receive the toss. Oh, my goodness. So, Vancouver going to have to go on their heels immediately as we begin this overtime quarter.
It's going to be all pressure from this Florida offense to start off this overtime period, and we'll see if Vancouver's up to task. Florida typically lives for these late season heroics.
Just to remind everyone, first team to score wins. It's that simple. 1st and 10 now as Giffus brings it out to the 27-yard line.
So, Cameron, I'm expecting them to just kind of stick with what has worked for them. Hey, they haven't really targeted Haynes very much in that fourth quarter, so maybe they try to make, Vancouver maybe forget about him a little bit and try to surprise him with a big game.
1st and 10 now for Florida. 2 receivers at the top of the screen, 1 there at the bottom, as you can see. The delayed handoff to Boletsky, and oh yeah, they're ready to let those horses run. You can tell it's a methodical thing that they're doing with those delayed handoffs, getting him a little extra burst of energy.
That's right, and it really, when they do that, when they call for it, they're in a great formation for it because they've got the defense spread out, thinking pass, and then they run that little draw and catch them off guard, and they've been picking up 9 yards each time they do it.
Let's give a call one more time. The chance to win, as the stats did show that 53-yard kick. That's a new record on the SFL 4K23. Oh, the handoff to Comasack across the 40, close to the 45-yard line. Another first down. And, you can tell Florida knows, hey, we got the football. We need to move down the field and just put this one away. And you can tell that they are really aggressively trying to do that.
That's right, and really with as many turnovers as they've had, it seems like they're playing it safe and running this ball. We'll see. They might be in passing formation right here, so we'll see if they go through the air.
We're still looking for Ron Haynes as well, as we haven't seen much of him. There was an attempted pass. Simply put, this Vancouver defense has done a really good job in taking him away from this game.
Yes, they have. They've shut him down in the fourth quarter. Really, the second half, they've done an excellent job not giving him any room to work. And to the day for Ron Cochran, 22 completions, 37 attempts, and 4 interceptions.
A quick score update for the other game. Alamo City has pulled away 35-17 late in the fourth. The throw, complete. Again, a great job by Ron Cochran standing in there and finding Stephen Bush. Now, he's someone who's come through in some big plays today.
That's right. We've called a few plays of his that have turned out to be chunk yardage downfield, and right there, no exception, looked like a post route taken over the middle, where they have just been living in the middle of this field today, and it's been no different on this drive.
You talk about a kicker who is wanting to get in the game, Ethan Sneed. He just seen chance to win, kick a record field goal. Now he wants a chance to put this game away. Will he get it? We'll see. Pass deflected that time. A very nice job by who else, Wade? Josh Farnsey.
That's right. Who else could it be other than, him or Mark Lopez? It's been those two mainly dominating this defensive day for Vancouver.
2nd and 10. Real quick, if you've not, folks, give this a like button. Smash that like button. I mean, this is a game worthy of it, no doubt. Cochran to throw. There's Ron Haynes. We knew they would get back to him sooner or later. 1st and 10, and you got to think they're in field goal range here.
That's right, and Ron Cochran was just biding his time, waiting for a moment to strike back to Ron Haynes right there. Caught it, breaks that initial tackle with some power. Ultimately, Vancouver's defense was right there to clean up the tackle, and there, Ron Haynes, 7 receptions, 106 yards, and that big touchdown to really keep them in this ballgame.
The Ron and Ron show. First time of the second half, as you can see by the stat. Now, a toss play to Boletsky. He gets a few, 2nd and 8. And now at this point, you're Florida. You're in a position to at least try a field goal attempt. Will we see conservatism kind of creep into their play calling here?
I would expect it just because, they're within field goal territory, so no need to risk an interception.
Not at all. They keep it on the ground to Boletsky, getting some more positive yards. 3rd and 4 coming up, and for Vancouver, for your fans out there, for this team, the home team, they can only hope for some sort of a mistake right now that would keep them in this game. Florida looking to go 7-0, again repeating what they did last year on their way to the SFL championship, and they go to the air here on 3rd down. Oh, cross back to the halfback, threw it across his body there, and going to be negative yardage. Farnsey again on the tackle, and that's going to bring up the kick that could be heard around the world. Ethan Sneed for a game-winning field goal attempt, 39 yards, and this place waits with bated breath. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. If it's got the distance, it is good, and it is Florida again winning after coming back from being down late in this 3rd quarter. They come away with the victory. Wade, your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, hometown 4th quarter heroes right there. Just how about that? And now they get the victory, and it's just another great victory for Florida. They make it 7-0, and it was it wasn't hometown. They were the away team, and so they steal the victory away from home. But it was the story of the 4th quarter for me, because for Ron Haynes not to have a single catch in that 4th quarter, second half, and then come up big in overtime, ultimately putting them over. It was an excellent ball game. Vancouver just was having, all they could, giving Florida offense troubles with their secondary, getting 4 interceptions on the day, but ultimately it wasn't to be for Vancouver. But excellent game by both these teams. We said it'd be a shootout before the game started, and it turned out to be.
These two teams, when they get together, it's always one for the record books. Quickly, my friend, player of the game.
I'm gonna have to say maybe. I'm gonna say Ron Haynes. Ron Haynes to get the victory, and get his best game as a pro probably. Sure. I've got to say Ron Haynes.
Ron Haynes. Folks, tomorrow SFL action kicks off at 6:30 Eastern with Baltimore and Arizona. After that, you've got Houston and Canton, Portland and Denver, Fort Worth and Mexico City. Be sure to check in on all of those games. Folks, I want to thank Eddie Gage, Ron Haynes in the stats truck, Cameron Irvine in production, and for my partner, Wade Phillips. We thank you so much for joining us, tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we had. Good night. We will see you next time. This has been SFL Action on YouTube.